Okay, so I said I would make a video discussing my eating disorder. So that's what this is going to be. The reason I'm doing it in the picture-in-picture thing is because the brightness from the background will light up my face because I don't feel like having my light on. And also that looks awful. So that's why it's only a partial picture, and hopefully it'll film better because the last video I had, I noticed, got a little wonky about halfway through. My mouth was moving but no words were coming out. So okay, so here's the thing with me and food. We have a very strained and abusive relationship, and it's not something that I talk about very often. I do talk about it sometimes. It's not that it's a secret, but it's not something that I guess it's not something that I'm looking for help with, because food is kind of the one thing that I can control in my life. Like, I can't control the fact that I'm homeless. I can't control the fact that I don't have any friends or social abilities to make any. I can't control my emotional stability. I can't control my emotions at all when I get upset. I can't control my dreams. I can't control my mind. There is nothing in this world that I can control except whether or not I give my body food. I can control that. I can choose whether or not I deserve a meal. And I do. And I often choose to either not eat or to eat something that I know my body can't process. When my grandmother passed away, I weighed 250 pounds. The last time I weighed myself, I weighed about 140. And I believe that I would be showing up less than that now, if I wasn't bloated from not eating. Stupidly enough. Currently, I went 3 days without eating before today. And then I went to LA today. I didn't eat in LA. I did pick up some food to eat tonight, but I haven't started eating yet. I feel weak. I feel exhausted and sore. My entire body hurts. My back, my arms, my legs. Everything just aches. And part of that is from walking around all day in the hot sun carrying a heavy backpack, because when I left the truck this morning, I left with everything that I thought was important to me, which left me with a backpack that weighed about 50 pounds that I had to carry on my back all day. And it was about a 4-mile walk from the train station to the apartment, and then another 4-mile walk back. And I kept having to stop to throw up because the sun would get to me and I would get sick real easy. So it took forever to make that walk because I was trying to stay in the shade the whole time and take caution, because my body is weak. And my body is weak because I have weakened it. And I'm aware that I've weakened it. And I'm aware that it could get to the point of being deadly. And I'm okay with that because I want to die. When I ask you guys to pray for me to get corona, I'm not saying that sarcastically or to be dramatic. I genuinely want to catch that virus so that I can die. I want for my body to give out so that I can finally be done with this world, because I can't take myself out any other way. I've tried so many times in my life. I walked out into traffic twice today to try to get run over. I've tried jumping off of bridges. I've tried taking pills. I've tried hanging myself. I've tried slitting my wrists. I've tried overdosing over and over and over again. I want to die. And because of that, I break my body down so that if I do get sick, I won't be able to fight it. And I do that somewhat intentionally, which is why I don't talk about it very much, because who would? I haven't seen my therapist all year to discuss it with her. Like I said, as of today, I've gone 3 days without eating anything at all. Other things that I'll do instead of not eating entirely is I will eat something that has gluten in it, because my body can't process gluten, but only sometimes. That's the trick. My gluten intolerance is based on my emotional stability, because from what I've figured out, apparently your mental state can fuck up your immune system, and your immune system is what causes the celiac. It's my immune system not processing certain things, only when I'm upset, only when I'm like today, where it's just complete mental breakdown. I probably should have been put in a hospital bad. And it'll stay that way. Because sometimes I don't realize how depressed I am or how bad mentally I am. When I got my Section 8 voucher last year, I didn't have any emotional reaction to it. My therapist cried. The caseworker that handled my case almost cried. They were so happy for me. And I didn't feel anything at all. And that was how I actually realized that there was something wrong further than what I knew, and that I needed another medication to help. That's when I started taking the Zoloft. And even that was hard, because I begged for it for months before he put me on it, and then I had a breakdown and I didn't want to take it when I got it because I was scared of the side effects. And as of now, I haven't even been on either of my medications for a couple of days, because I didn't get my medication refilled last week, because I missed my doctor's appointment, and then I got depressed and decided to just not get my medication anymore. So, on days that I eat, I'll eat something with gluten that my body may or may not process. If it doesn't, obviously I get no nourishment from that meal. I feel like it's a practical joke from God sometimes, because I can get my body so worn out, and then suddenly it'll start processing gluten again. And it'll start building itself back up. And it's like God saying, "Ha ha, bitch, you ain't dying yet." I used to limit my calories to 500 calories a day. And some days those calories would be just Cokes, which is only like 2 Cokes a day. I've always had issues with food. Always. Even when I was a kid. But it was, when I was a kid, I had the opposite problem. When I was a kid, I ate to deal with my stress, with my anxieties. That's why I got up to 250 pounds in high school. I was that big in high school because I used to just eat and eat and eat. While my parents were fighting, I would just eat. Just give me some more mashed potatoes. It's fine. Everything's fine. I've got mashed potatoes. I've got French fries. I've got fried chicken. I've got biscuits. I don't need a loving family. I used to eat out of the garbage can at school. The kids would pay me to eat out of the garbage can. And I would do it because I was always hungry. I would get hungry when I would get upset. And I was always upset. My nerves were always shot. And that left me starving and trying to eat away the pain as an 8-year-old. And so I would eat out of a garbage can for quarters. And one day, I think it was in the 3rd grade, the teacher did an experiment with the kids where it was about not judging people by the outside. And she brought in a can of chili without a label and said that it was dog food and asked if any of us wanted to eat it. And I did. And all the kids made fun of me for eating dog food, even after the teacher told them that it was chili and that it was just a test to prove to them that just because somebody says that this is what's in this can doesn't mean that that's what's in it. That if you take the label off of something, you can't tell what's in it without actually getting to know it or looking inside. All the other kids saw a fat girl eating dog food. And I saw a free meal. And I didn't care if it was dog food or not. It was in a can, so it was edible. I was not a smart kid. For all the teachers that thought I was smart, I was not socially adept, whatever the fucking word I'm looking for is. And so that's how I got through school. I would eat out of the garbage. I would eat off of other kids' trays. It was easy to be anorexic if you were around me because I would eat your lunch for you. It wasn't until after I moved in with my grandmother, after the murder, after everything went really wrong, that I started eating less and trying to control it. Because my grandmother wanted me to lose weight. She constantly told me that I needed to lose weight or nobody was ever going to love me. I was never going to find a man if I didn't lose weight. I started eating on her schedule, which she would only eat about once a day. So I would only eat once a day. It would be a good meal, but it would only be once a day. And that cut my appetite a lot, but it didn't actually help me lose much weight. After she passed away, I stopped eating, like completely, for a while. And that cut my appetite even more. When I started eating again, it was hard because my body, just like every couple of bites, my body just wanted to stop. Because I had gone so long without nourishing it properly. After the years of training it to only have one meal a day. And then training it to have nothing a day. except liquids. I started going to the soup kitchen there on the island when I was homeless in Fernandina, and the soup kitchen was about a 2-mile walk away, so it was 40 minutes. And I would pass out when I got there because my body was so weakened that I couldn't handle the 2-mile walk. And so I would get there and I would lay my head down on the table and I would just let myself black out and hope that I woke up before anybody noticed what was going on. And then I would sit back up and I would get my meal and I would feel better. And then my hair started falling out. That's when I knew that I had pushed it too far. When the alopecia got bad. And I didn't know what was causing it at first. It wasn't until I finally found out that it was malnourishment from my body not getting enough nutrients that caused it. So now that's what I watch for. When I start pushing my body, I watch for how much of my hair comes out so that I can backtrack and stop it before I have noticeable patches. And I'm fully aware of how dangerous that is. That's why I don't talk about it much. Because I starve myself so much, when I do start eating, and I start eating food that I can process, my body just becomes ravenous and starts insisting on more food. More. Just never stop eating. When food is all you can think about, you don't pay much attention to your money, especially if you start with a good amount. I did this happened with the stimulus. I started with $1,200 and I felt comfortable to eat. And I didn't realize how much I was spending until it was too late. And I showed y'all the receipts on that to prove that it really was food. I go so long on nothing, or very, very little, that when I have money and I start eating real food from restaurants, I go overboard. And that's where the money goes. And I know that people aren't going to believe me. People are going to say that I'm probably on heavy drugs. But it's really going towards food. Mostly Japanese food. From the little place on the corner that I can get rice and chicken and salad for $10 a plate. And I'm ashamed of it. I am ashamed of how much money I spend when I binge. I imagine anybody with an eating disorder like this feels shameful after a binge. Like, I don't think that's just me. It feels stupid to be ashamed of eating, but I am. You know, and it used to be even harder for me. Like, it used to be that I wouldn't let anybody see me eat. When I was really, really bad about not really eating anything and just not really wanting food, I didn't want people to see me eat. It grossed me out. It made me think that, like, I don't know, if they see me eat and they see that I'm so fat, they'll probably think that I eat all day long, and this is probably the first meal that I've had in 3 days, but they don't know that. They just see that I'm fat. And I got real self-conscious about it. That's why I don't talk about it too much on here. I talk about a lot But when it comes to my eating issues, it's not something that I talk about. It's not something that I want to openly, address. And maybe that's because I'm not trying to get help for it. I talk about everything else because I'm trying to get help for everything else. I'm in therapy for my CPTSD, and, I'm trying to heal from my life, and I've found it's easier to heal if you can talk to people about it and feel like people are listening and caring. So, if it's not something I want to heal, then it's not something I'm going to talk about. And it's not because I'm trying to keep secrets from y'all or trying to lie to you. It's just some things are more difficult for me to discuss than others. And my situation with food is one of them. I don't expect everybody to believe me. But I can't handle the constant harassment and questioning about where my money goes. Because if y'all really want me to start saving all of my receipts and prove to you how much food my fat ass eats, I will. But it would really affect how much food my fat ass eats. Because if I was having to literally tell somebody what I ate every day, I probably wouldn't eat. Because I'm fat, and I don't want anybody to know that I eat food. Like, that sounds stupid. Of course I eat food. Everybody eats food, but when you're fat, it's different. When you're fat and people see you eat food, they think that's all you ever do. And it's shameful. I'm working on it. I'm trying. I won't let myself get to the point where my hair's falling out again, but I am a little worried I'm gonna have a stroke one day, 'cause my appendages keep going numb in my sleep. I wake up every 3 or 4 hours and either my hand or one of my feet has gone entirely dead, and I have to get up and shake it out and get it back awake again. And I know that that's a blood flow situation, and blood flow situations are what causes strokes, so I worry sometimes about that. But not enough that I would ask y'all for help for it, or I would have brought it up before now. I don't know what else to say to explain what the situation is between me and food. It is what it is. I'm working on a lot of things in my life. And the food issue is still one that I feel like I can control. But just understand that if I for some reason come into money and it disappears quickly, it's not because I'm getting heavy drugs or giving it to somebody else or doing anything wrong with it. It's because my mind wants food. My body wants food. And it latches onto the idea of food. And once I get into the apartment, things are gonna change a lot because I'll be able to cook for myself. I can cook rice for myself every day. If I could eat healthy on my own without having to spend money for it, maybe it would be easier for me to stay healthy and be honest about it. You know? But as it is, I can't cook for myself. I have to go where they can cook it for me, which costs more money. And it's not that I'm eating there every day. I mean, I do when I have money, but like, now that I don't have the money, I'm not asking you guys to give me more money so I could go and get more food. I'm just asking you not to harass me anymore about the money that you already gave me. I haven't asked you for more. I'm not intending to. Basically ever. Because y'all have put me through hell for asking for this. Like, at this point, I would genuinely starve. Because y'all are putting me through hell. Mentally. Over this money. And I don't even understand why you gave that much to a homeless person if you cared what happened to it. Like, if you want to be in control of your money, don't give it to somebody else. Especially not somebody that's homeless. That should be common sense. Once the money leaves your hand and you give it to somebody else, you lose your control over it. You no longer get a say in what that money goes to unless you're donating to a specific organization or fundraiser. Y'all didn't donate to a fundraiser. The GoFundMe is still up that nobody has donated to, and I'm not asking you guys to donate to because I've already got the security deposit paid, because I took what I needed for the security deposit from the $500 that y'all sent. And I already put it into a cashier's check and took it to my caseworker. Like, that's already taken care of. And that came from the $500 that y'all sent me, and I didn't have to take it from that because I have a GoFundMe set up for that. You know? It's just, if you give me money, I'm going to use it to take care of myself. And whether that means that I'm going to eat a shit ton or I'm going to smoke weed, it should be my money to do what I want with. Because you gave it to me. That's just... Once you've given a homeless person money, that's their money. You shouldn't be able to keep coming back and making that person miserable. Because being homeless is miserable enough. Like, I know I cry all the time on here, but being homeless is hard. Not having a home to go to at night is hard. Not feeling like anybody cares about you is hard. Waking up in the middle of the night and having some random man staring at you through your window is scary. And it happens to me all the time. For a year, I lived in a tent in LA on a sidewalk. And every couple of nights, a man would open the tent and try to come in on me. One night, a man burned holes in the tent, and I woke up to him touching me as I slept. When I slept on the park bench for the year before I got the tent, I had a man that would touch me every single night. I would wake up to this man touching me. I laid down on the grass one night under a blanket, and I woke up to a man spooning me under my blanket. You have no idea how scary that is. Apparently I've been filming too long. My phone has decided to shut down. Every day is uncertain for me. That's what being homeless is. They could come and make me leave any day. They could come and take the truck away and just put me back out on the street where men can do what they want with me. And I can't even fight back physically. That was my life when I was on the street before I got the truck. And having the truck has helped so much. It's taken so much of the fear away from me, but it's also caused so much anxiety because I can't drive it and I can't afford the registration or the insurance on it. I don't feel like I deserve it. I don't feel like I deserve to have a safe place to sleep at night. Think about your situation. When you lay your head down on your bed at night, do you feel like you deserve that safety? Because I don't. When I get attacked, when I get raped, I truly feel like I deserve it. Because I'm less than human. I don't see myself as a person like the rest of you. And I know that there's a lot of people that aren't going to understand that. CPTSD isn't just nightmares and flashbacks. It's self-loathing. It's anxiety and panic. It's irrational thoughts and fears and uncontrollable urges. And I wish that I was smart enough to fully explain what my life is like so that y'all can understand. But I'm not.